Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and check this out. I didn't know this. 30% of adults struggle with depression and anxiety. I'm surprised it's not higher than that. Anyway, Calm is an app that was created, and it helps. It's got a bunch of audio content, like for sleeping and meditating and alleviating stress. And it looks like Calm is going to be coming, the app or the private equity for that company is going to be coming to the Link2 platform. So you're going to need to check that out. I've downloaded that app before. I'm not depressed, don't worry, but I mean, I don't think I'm one of those people that's got depression. I think that I've probably experienced something like that before, but you know, this is one thing that I can proudly say in my at age 50. I do feel completely at peace with things in my life. I would say that, but this is definitely good for people that are not. Okay, now check this out. The FOMC meeting.
We have confidence. We're looking for greater confidence that inflation is moving sustainably down to 2%. Implicitly, we do have confidence and it has been increasing, but we want to get greater confidence. What do we want to see? We want to see more good data. It's not that we're looking for better data. We're looking at continuation of the good data that we've been seeing. And a good example is inflation. So we have 6 months of good inflation data. The question really is, that 6 months of good inflation data, is it sending us a true signal that we are in fact on a path, a sustainable path down to 2% inflation? That's the question. And the answer will come from some more data that's also good data. It's not that the 6 month data isn't low enough. It is. It's just a question of, can we take that with confidence that we're moving sustainably down to 2%? That's really what we're thinking about. In terms of growth, we've had strong growth. If you take a step back, we've had strong growth, very strong growth last year, going right into the fourth quarter.
Really?
And yet we've had a very strong labor market, and we've had inflation coming down. So I think, whereas a year ago we were thinking that we needed to see some softening in economic activity, that hasn't been the case. So I think we look at stronger growth.
These people, I tell you what, it's just hard to listen to. Listen to what he says here.
We're also, as you know, investing.
This isn't hard to listen to.
Right now in building a new settlement system for instant payments in the U.S. It'll be the first such major expansion of our core payment system since the 1970s. We found the case for this quite compelling for consumers, businesses, and just ensuring that all financial institutions have access to the payment system. We're also, as you know...
All right. Now, I'm about to show you something really interesting, but look at this. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. Now, here we are on the verge of a potential economic collapse, and she's worried about cryptocurrencies. I thought they always told us, oh, well, cryptocurrencies, that's just a really insignificant, there's really not that much money in that. Why are they so worried about it? Set to warn House lawmakers about crypto hazards to financial stability. Here's a good one from Raoul Paul.
Also, how are you thinking through tokenization of funds and the future of your business?
The constraints for anything can be tokenized. I feel like I've got a little bit of an insight as an ETF person because I index very much on one big issue, which is liquidity. Who provides the liquidity? Anyone can theoretically tokenize anything, but if there's a buyer and a seller of an asset, so someone's got to make that market, right? And you think, oh, Jan, S&P 500. It's so obvious, so easy to price, but someone has to make a market in it, Raul, and someone's got to make money making a market in it. So it's not just I can create a tokenized real world asset of anything. It's who's providing the market structure around the liquidity. So that's big picture question number one. big picture question number two is, where can you do that without a lot of regulatory headache, right? And in the world today, you're not doing that in the United States. That's fine. Now, it'll be really interesting. My bet is on
London is ready. You could do it in London.
Europe, just because it's got a large retail market, as well as having a regulatory structure that enables, crypto investing and trading and whatnot. But we'll see. I think there's a lot of developments need to happen. But those are the big things that I focus on.
Okay. And then we have, I was just going to show you this. I just saw this list of 2024 crypto conferences, and she was asking if she was missing one. And I informed her, yeah, as a matter of fact, you're missing XRP Las Vegas. But she had on the list, let me see which one, Consensus, Ripple, Apex. She's got all the ETH conferences, ETH Denver and ETH Brussels. But anyway, now she's got XRP Las Vegas. Bill Morgan, who I think is an attorney, said, I indicated a few days ago that Judge Torres needed to rule quickly on the SEC's motion to allow remedies related to discovery to be completed by the 12th of February 2024 as previously ordered. No surprise to me, the SEC's motion succeeded, and quite frankly, I think the XRP community wants to see Ripple post-complaint contracts. I do not think it will change John Deaton's recent view, with which I agree, on what penalty Ripple may be ordered to pay, less than the amount Ripple has paid in legal costs. It has more bearing on whether a permanent injunction will be granted, and if so, and how broadly ordinarily it will be confined. And then here's another clip. By the way, if you don't think Ripple is not going to agitate this issue in the remedies phase, you need to look closely at what the SEC said in the reply brief motion to compel. Ripple's view at the remedies stage, factual questions must be resolved as to post-complaint institutional sales. And Ripple made it clear that Judge Torres' institutional sales ruling did not apply to Ripple's current ODL sales. This will be a crucial issue over the next few months. Interesting stuff. Now, you got to see this. But before, this is this guy, Jim Willie's, talking about what he's hearing from contacts in the Middle East on XRP. Before you watch it, I want to remind you of this. This is what Brad Garlinghouse said about people outside of the U.S. and how they look at the SEC case here.
Most people outside the United States don't really care that the SEC is suing us. I'll tell you a very quick, funny story. I'll keep it short. I was in the Middle East last fall, and we were meeting with customers. I have one of the Ripple team members who's based there. It's really early in the morning. My time zones are all screwed up. We're meeting the CEO of a payments company, and but the employee from Team Ripple says, well, why don't you give an update on what's going on at Ripple? And I start talking about the SEC. And after the meeting, he very delicately says to me, no one gives a shit. And his point was, if you're not in the United States, the governments in Abu Dhabi, governments in Switzerland, Singapore, UK, Japan, they provided the clarity how they view and categorize digital assets, and they don't care that the United States SEC has a viewpoint that is, pending in court.
Okay, and then you have this. So that's what he was being told over there in the Middle East, I guess, or wherever. Saudis, UAE roll out red carpet. This is from November 2021. Saudis, UAE roll out red carpet for crypto as U.S. gives a cold shoulder. In this section, it says in Saudi Arabia, let's see right here. In the UAE, Garlinghouse said the country has created so-called financial free zones, or areas largely free of taxes and strict regulation. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia, Then here it says, take enterprise blockchain company Ripple. Just last week, the Saudi Arabia announced the country will launch Ripple's on-demand liquidity platform in an effort to make international payments easier. Then it goes on, I think it's clear the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia wants the technology and blockchain forward-leaning, Brad Garlinghouse told the Post. This was obvious at the Future Investment Initiative conference. In the U.S., Ripple's forced to focus on the lawsuit. Meanwhile, let's see, So you get the picture. They don't care what Gary thinks. Now watch Jim Willie.
So think of it as a palette. Okay, this is your de-dollarization palette. You got the ruble, you got the yuan, you got XRP, and you might have a couple of others over time. That's your palette of de-dollarization options. Okay, I think XRP is going to be, they just announced in the BRICS that they're going to use it as a transition bridge currency. Not in heavy volume, and I think, and as they use it, we might see the XRP coin go up in value. I've been saying for a long time, I expect it to go up in value, and then they're going to increase the market cap, and that will allow them to square their market cap, increase their number of coins, increase their market cap, and square their total. Okay. It's going to be one country after another that uses XRP. Now, I did a consult call. It was somewhere around May, I think. It was a guy from Qatar. And he said, Jim, I'm an Arab, and you see my Arab name, and his English was perfect. And he said, I want you to know that I spend a lot of time in Saudi with my business. He was involved, let's just say he's involved in the support equipment for the oil and gas industry. He was not an oil pumper. He was not a gas pumper. He was in the equipment. He said, I spent a lot of time in Saudi, and I spent a lot of time in Bahrain. And, you know, we don't pronounce it right. It's Bahrain. 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 Okay. He said Bahrain is really interesting because they allow liquor in bars. They allow dancing in discotheques. They allow bikinis on the beach. And they got some ladies who take it all off in certain strip clubs. I'm sorry. Gentlemen clubs. Yeah, they're gentlemen. I forgot. He said they're using XRP all across the Persian Gulf. And I said, tell me where. He said, you see it on cell phone bills. You see it on water bills. You see it on electricity bills. I said, okay, so the utilities. He said, yes. That was the initial introduction. He said, it's several monarchies in the Gulf. And I said, how about for contract and business? He said, yes, that has begun a few months ago. I said, tell me if this is a typical kind of example. There's a construction site. There's a lot of different construction suppliers, and the cement supplier bills like hundreds of thousands of dollars in XRP. He said, yes, they've begun to do that. Individual contractors are billing with XRP, payment in XRP. I said, okay, so this is a trial. And I said, and UAE is behind this. They're the ringleader. They're the manager. They're the band leader. They're in charge of setting it up, trying it out, requesting it, researching it. He said, yes. I said, I heard they spent $230 million setting up the digital architecture for the Gulf payment system. He said, yes, that's true. UAE is the leader. And I said, well, wouldn't it be interesting if France announces that they're going to be buying UAE oil or gas or LNG, and a quarter of the contract will be paid in XRP? He said, Jim, I really think that might happen. I agree with you.
Man, what a fascinating video that is. Now, I think this is the last thing I'm going to show you before we go into the group. 120 million XRP on the move, transferred from Ripple to unknown wallet. Now, I'm about to do something interesting in DAIXRP.com, and I'm also going to make another video around this this here in the next couple of days. That's going to be fascinating. We're going to go over the numbers. But in DAIXRP.com, I'm going to show you, it's very obvious why they did the regulatory capture, and Bill Hinman and Jay Clayton made sure the lawsuit was against Ripple. Because we've always asked the question, why Ripple? How did they know to sue? Out of all the thousands of tokens, why Ripple? It's very obvious when you look at this. I'm going to show you what, if you had put $100 into any one of the various cryptos on January 1st, 2017, what that $100 would have looked like on January 1st of 2018. When you see this, it will open your eyes wide open. You will get it. Okay? I was there. That's the reason. See, a lot of people don't understand this, but the reason that when the Ripple lawsuit dropped, part of the reason that I knew something wasn't right, part of the reason I smell a huge stinking rat, was because I had been there. And by that time, I had done so many videos on this, and I had seen that all the shadiness that had gone on in this whole thing, that I knew it, and I knew where to look, and I started looking. Hence ETHgate. Well, in DAIXRP.com, we're going to show you what would that $100 have done, and it'll tell you all you need to know about why the bad guys did what they did. It was regulatory capture, and it was intentional. And it didn't just involve the SEC. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family. You want to see what these shady you-know-whats we're looking at? Here it is. All right.